Welcome to the Notorious Scoundrels, a Star Wars Legion podcast bringing you the latest news, general perspective, and competitive discussion.
Hello and welcome back to the Notorious Scoundrels podcast. I'm here with Jay and Luke Cook. What's up, gentlemen?
What's going on, man? Thanks for having me on.
Why are you here?
Luke is, of course, just a random local from New York. So thanks for coming on, Luke.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Good to be back.
Luke, of course, the two-time world champion. So we just got freshly back from Adepticon about a week ago. So, of course, we'll talk about that. We also got some previews that we promised we would talk about from last time. So we're going to do those too.
Now that you're the two-time, you got to go full like Dr. Disrespect, right? And just like get the mustache and just yell at people and be like, I'm the two-time. You don't respect the two-time? I think that's the only way to go.
Get the full wig and the bodysuit or whatever he wears. And just do the dance moves.
Yeah. Don't even really play.
Just troll people. Just walk around, show up to tournaments. Find a way to like bring both trophies with you. I was thinking you could wear them like shoulder pads, like 40K style, just construct some kind of apparatus.
Yeah.
Like a shelf.
Those things are thick. They're heavy. They're very heavy. It's like, but it's been cool. It was fun tournament. It's good to meet everybody from across the seas, people that we've talked to for 4+ years now, meet a lot of new community members and everything. It was a lot of fun, honestly. I know we say this after every tournament, but meeting new people in the community and stuff like that, it's really the best part about this stuff. A lot of new friends and it's a lot of fun.
So I have a question for both of you guys, because this pertains to two of you, and I don't know the answer. Did you guys prefer what we did for Worlds this year and like have it all together with everyone there, the whole thing, or did you like it better the first Worlds that you guys were at, where they took you to FFG's headquarters and did the top 8 there?
Good question. I didn't think about that. They were both two unique experiences, I guess. I kind of liked having everybody there and just one go at it, maybe a little better, but just to have like the camaraderie and all the teams there, you saw the Germans, then you had the guys from the folks from the UK, and everybody was sporting their country's apparel and such like that. But I don't know, the other experience was pretty cool because it was more like close-knit group. There was only like the 8 of us, and we were sitting there with Luke Eddy and Alex Davey, who were the creators at the time of the game. So that was also pretty unique. And we got to do some extra stuff behind the scenes, seeing like the studio where they were making the Legion products and stuff like that. So that was really cool. They also showed us some sneak previews back then too. So that was kind of like a totally different thing, but they were both awesome, and I'm thankful for having those experiences, especially to the AMG for flying everybody out. That was awesome, putting us up. Honestly, I did not expect it, especially after changing hands of the companies. So that was cool that they went ahead and still did that. So I don't know how Kyle feels about that, but
Kyle hated that they gave him a free flight.
No, about the difference between.
He was absolutely miserable.
Those guys.
I definitely made use of my free hotel room, even though my parents lived in the area. Sleep peacefully away from my kids. I think it's kind of apples to oranges. Like you said, Luke, two very different experiences. And I think it's hard to kind of separate the fact that you had that massive international presence from just kind of doing it all at once at Adepticon. I feel like, maybe there's a world where it's like the best of both worlds, where you have kind of like a high command style qualifier tournament with all the international people there. And then you separately do, some other time, like a top 8 or whatever with, at AMG headquarters or something like that. where you have that more exclusive experience, but it was just two very different things.
Mm.
I really loved just the size and the international feel of Worlds this year, and that just wasn't really possible last time because there were not nearly as many invites available internationally. So yeah, I think it's just two totally different experiences. But I think I feel like this one they had like different levels of prestige in different ways, because the first one was more exclusive, but this one was just bigger and had more international scope and more people. So
Yep.
and more visibility too, I think, frankly. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and it felt more like an event, right? Like
Yeah.
I think, not, I didn't play in either, but being at least up to the top 8 of the first one, and then being at this one, the first one just felt like a regular convention tournament that of the top 8 were going to go be able to do something. And this one just felt more like an event, like a real event. Like I had very much that like sports arena feel where you were just like everyone's like cheering and chanting and like surrounding the tables when like top players were playing, and it was pretty wild. So yeah, that's how I saw it.
Yeah, it was really cool. Playing in the finals, well, semi and then the finals, getting on the stream table. I was kind of tunnel vision at the time, just focused on the game, really just basically staring at the table. But after the game was over, I kind of looked up and I was like, oh my goodness, there was like this crowd around. There was like 50, 60 people just surrounding the table, just watching the game. That was really cool. This time around, where last time, me and Kyle were playing and we look up and then it was like 3 guys just standing there
Yeah,
watching.
it's an empty room basically.
Yeah. We're in this huge room and there's like no one there, versus the big convention hall at Adepticon just packed and people are just surrounding watching, and then the cheering and stuff going on. That was cool. So yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, because I think both of your games against Lilo, they were surrounded by people, right? And so yeah, both were super interesting to see both those games like that. So and I kept getting like, we were running the booth and stuff, and people would either like send me messages or someone would run over to the booth and be like, oh God, this is happening. You gotta get over here. And I'd be like, all right, Rachel, watch the booth for a second. And then I'd like walk over to see what was going on. And yeah, it was a really cool feeling. So yeah, I think they did a great job.
Yeah, and Endless covering it with the stream. He did a great job all weekend.
Oh yeah.
I had a chance to go back and watch some of the games, and yeah, the production quality was awesome. Him and Zane Ferguson, they did a great job putting together a good quality stream for the people at home to watch, and yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, David was telling me about all the different like sourcing for many of the different parts of the stream that they were using. Like the dice tray, I guess, was custom built by a film crew from Argentina. Alejandro, I guess, like does film production as like his day job.
Yeah, like so legit.
So it's like a real like green screen dice tray that, where you had the floating dice. I know that they had tried the green screen thing at previous events, but it was just like flat, so the dice kept rolling off the thing, but it was an actual like properly constructed green screen dice tray. And then a lot of the technical stuff was from Seth Roche from Bombad Generals. So and then of course Zane Ferguson also helped out a ton with the stream. So yeah, it was just, the production quality was great, the stream was great. The team that put on the event, LJ and Griffin and all those guys did a great job. So yeah, it was an awesome event.
Yeah, it really was. Yeah, well done.
Why don't we talk real quickly, because we got some previews that we promised people we would talk about, so let's do that, and then we can kind of dive more into your own personal world's experience.
World champion be damned, we're doing what we said we would do.
Yeah. All right.
Do you want to do housekeeping today, Jay, or just
just keep going?
All right. So let's just walk. We got a ton of new stuff here. It's a lot of it is just miniatures, so we can maybe speculate on what some of this stuff is, but we did get some actual rules too here. So we're just gonna go through here in order. First thing we got is Bad Batch, which is just miniatures.
Yes. I am very excited about this. This is probably the most exciting thing for me out of the new leaks that we got. Especially
Previews.
Crosshair or previews, yes,
Yeah.
not leaks. Crosshair especially, because I'm an Empire player, but
Yep.
it'll be interesting. I don't know what they're gonna do, if he's gonna be like his own unit or if he's gonna be like a heavy weapon like we've seen before or what, but he's definitely gonna be a sniper. So I'm excited to see his stat line. But
Yeah, and it's interesting too. I like they did this a little bit in the past, but they've been doing it a lot more, the like double faction or multi-faction units, and so like I really like that. I guess these guys are going to be for both Rebels and Republic, which is cool. So
yeah, and you've got basically the whole crew here, and it seems likely that Omega will be Rebels only, and Crosshair will probably be Republic only, and possibly also some kind of model that you can take in Empire.
Yeah. Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Like a Del Miko type.
Right, just as like a heavy weapon upgrade. The open question for me here is like, are you going to be able to field all 5 to 6 at once? Because I think the closest analogy we have for something like this, where you have a unit with a bunch of named unique minis in it, is Clan Ren or Inferno Squad, and those are basically one generic guy with 2 named minis in them. If this is like 5 named minis, that's going to be a big unit.
Yeah, right. I wonder if it'll be like they just have a baseline card and then you just kind of add in what minis you want to include or something like that. Like, I don't know if what they're gonna do. I'm very curious. But yeah, I've been loving the show so far.
Yep,
so
show's
the
great.
second season has been really cool so far. So yeah, I'm excited for these guys.
Yeah, the minis look great. It was really funny too, because it seems like they just kind of probably cropped in from Photoshop like the pictures of the minis, because they're not all quite the same size as each other. One of my favorite Facebook posts about this was like, does Wrecker look small to you? And then somebody responded to that and was like, just very matter of factly, Wrecker's small because this is a miniature of Wrecker. Like, yes, thank you. Yeah, they're not quite all on the same scale, which is probably why Wrecker looks small, but I'm sure he'll be like Wookiee sized or Dark Trooper sized or whatever.
Big boy.
Yeah, he's a big boy, but yeah, they look great. I love the crosshair pose with him just like holding his rifle kind of by his side there. Yeah. All right. Not much more to say about them other than to speculate.
You want to just do all the models and then
let's just do all the models, and then we can do the unit cards. We also got some Geonosians.
I really feel like, as fine as that is, like really them before Gungans? That seems like, I mean, come on, Gungans, right? Why don't we have Gungans right now?
Yeah, I would agree with you, Jay.
yeah.
It could be similar timescale situation. We got Ahsoka and Asajj previews kind of before Cody, and they're all it looks like they're all like in the same quote unquote wave. So it could be that we're also getting Gungans and they just haven't showed them to us. I don't know.
That's fair.
Yeah,
they look cool.
Yeah, they do. I'm still scarred from Star Wars miniatures days. These guys, you would run them in like a horde, and Poggle gave them like this basically suicide bomb effect, so they would just blow up in your face. and you would just run like 30 of these dudes, and it was in a game where you really only ran like 8 to 10 units. Then they were just really cheap and they just swarmed you. So if they have that effect, I'm just gonna be like, oh boy. But yeah, that was always fun.
Do they like explode in cannon somewhere?
I don't know. They just gave him like a self-destruct.
That's really strange. I don't remember them doing that in the movie.
Yeah, I don't know. They just kind of blew up. I don't know. They just ran at you in hordes. But
yeah, I mean, I would like to see these guys obviously have wings. It looks like they have them up on stands. It'd be interesting to see if they just give them jump or if they give them some sort of fly mechanic. Like
Hover ground.
yeah, hover ground. That would be cool. I'd like to see that some sort of hover or fly mechanic
Hover air, I guess it would be.
Yeah, well, maybe ground, maybe they're lower.
Whatever the Sith probes have.
Oh yeah, but yeah, I'd like to see more of that in this game. Like I think one of my big things is obviously Ewoks, but like I would love to see Ewok gliders. Like that would be amazing. But who knows? Anyways.
Yeah, and they've said they'll be coming with Poggle the Lesser and Sun Fac. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. So,
sure. That was close.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, it'll be cool for Separatists to get a core unit that's not droid.
Yep. We'll see how that works in their faction.
I guess we don't necessarily know that they're a core unit. They could be
that's true.
like a special forces or something.
Yeah.
All right. Inquisitors.
Yes.
Yeah. Fine.
Could be pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, sure.
Cheaper force users for the Empire.
Because we all know the Empire needs more better force users.
Definitely.
And apparently they seem to be designed to be taken together because they didn't say much about their rules, but they did say that you could take both of them as one operative slot.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So it doesn't say anything about their costs, but it does seem like you could take two Inquisitors and Darth Vader operative if you wanted, or
that'd be cool.
Boba Fett or something like that.
Yeah, kind of like how R2 and C3PO work almost.
Yeah. It seems like they'll still be two separate units, rather than like a counterpart situation. But it'll be more like, I guess, probably like just being able to take three operatives essentially, if you want.
Yeah, I mean, this is interesting. I think this definitely opens the way for potentially old man Obi-Wan, right? From the shows. You got you could probably do Cal Kestis, right? Like from the video game. Like he's a really cool Jedi. Like that would be a cool Jedi to have. And then you could do an operative with him and have a counterpart and have his little droid that he has. Like that would be cool. Yeah, I'm just excited that it kind of opens an era of the galaxy for other things to come in as well.
I'm slightly disappointed they didn't do Second Sister from Fallen Order. They did the Inquisitors from Rebels.
Yeah,
I assume we'll get her eventually. But
doesn't the guy, isn't he in Obi-Wan as well? I think they made a real so
live action.
Too late
he's in
at night.
Obi-Wan.
I know Second Sister would have been good.
Oh well. All right, that's it for minis. Should we hit some cards?
Ewoks.
Before we get to Ewoks, since it's slightly closer in terms of time scale, I think let's hit the Ahsoka card.
All right, fine. Who cares about Ahsoka? Nobody.
So she has a pretty quote unquote standard melee Jedi card, very similar to the base stats of Commander Luke. The old 6 health, red save, 3 courage, surge crit, speed 2. She has 2 force slots and 2 training slots like Maul and Ventress. And then she's got basically Obi-Wan's lightsaber profile. But then she also has jump 2 instead of jump 1. She has defend 1, which is, as Anakin has demonstrated, a massive keyword for Force users. And then she has deflect, immune, pierce, and then Jarkai mastery, which is the same mastery that Ventress has, where you basically, it's marksman but with dodges.
Yep.
So defend 1 plays with that. So you definitely want her to have a Jedi. Always want orders, but you definitely want her to have orders, and you get a bonus for that. So it's good.
Yep. Yeah, probably run C's on her. That seems like it's just a natural pairing to get that defend 1 going and order control. and stuff like that. Maybe tenacity. I don't know. Into the fray, probably.
Yeah, you definitely want into the fray now that deflect doesn't work in melee.
Yeah, true.
Unless she has a command card or something that gives her surges like Vader does.
Yeah, that's fair.
Obviously, they didn't show us her command cards. Supposedly, she has 4.
Oh, sweet.
So, and I think Ventress also had 4, right? Ventress has her 3 normal cards, and then she's got like a Dooku teamwork card.
Yep.
So, people have been speculating on what that 4th card is, but it could be a teamwork card of some kind.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
She's the Ventress mirror.
Who would she have teamwork with?
Yeah, I wonder.
Because she's Rebels, right?
I don't know.
This is the Fulcrum version of Ahsoka. So yeah, Star Wars Rebels.
Sabine,
Oh yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, Sabine's the only other Rebels character.
Yeah.
that we
I
currently
mean,
right?
she's in well, Book of Boba Fett, I guess, with OP Luke. So, but they have met. They have been
and with
together.
Din.
We've
She's met
seen it.
Din.
She's met Din. Yeah, she got Din. Grogu. Could be something there. Who else has she interacted with? I guess that's it. Oh, R2.
Yeah.
Could be something there. Like those are like the 4 or 5 characters that she's met that we know of that are out, right?
Yep. All right. Now we can do Ewoks, Jay.
Oh yeah, baby. So I'll just say, since Luke's on, this is pretty great. Luke's dad is like really upset about Ewoks and people running them, and so I'm literally just gonna shove him down. Because he's a maniac. So I'm gonna go to every tournament. I'm gonna travel 3-4 out, whatever it takes, wherever Chris is playing. I will be there with Ewoks and an ATST or 2, depending on what they allow, and I will be shoving them down his throat as much as I can. So it just gives me another excuse to play him. Not that I needed one.
He has just a hatred for Ewoks.
Yeah.
He's
Just an irrational dislike for Ewoks.
Yeah, he just can't handle the meme of the Ewoks. The little teddy bears running around. He's like, I'm literally just gonna run the counter to whatever Ewoks is. I don't care if it's good against anything else.
I'm just gonna murder as many Ewoks as I can.
Yeah.
So I have just off topic, but I was thinking I somebody had given me, like, as a collectible, they had the cartoon, remember the Star Wars cartoon with the Ewoks and C3PO and R2D2, like the old one. And so I have the like VHS display that has like the cartoon Ewoks, and so I'm thinking about making a display board with that as the background and just bringing that to everything. Yeah,
That'd be amazing.
Practice your Ewok noises or get like an Ewok soundboard to get the full effect there.
yeah. That's all I'm gonna do. It's gonna be amazing.
Jay, do you want to do the honors and tell us about Wicket?
I do, yeah. So Wicket, he's the hero of Bright Tree. I don't know if you guys know this, but he is. He is, I'm gonna call it the teardrop because they're gangsters. That's their symbol. He is 70
I assume
points.
that's the Ewok symbol.
Yeah, I think so. But it looks like, if you look at it from far away, it looks like a teardrop.
It does.
I actually, when I paint them, I'm going to paint teardrops under their eyes, like, so that looks killed someone in the wood prison. So 70 points, 3 training. He's got independent dodge 1. He's got low profile nimble, relentless, which is amazing. Scout 1 and scouting party 2. So after you use scout, you could bring up to 2 troopers at range 1 to 2 with you. Sharpshooter 2 and unhindered. He's got a ton of keywords.
Yep.
White dice expected, 5 health, 2 courage, surge to crit on attack, which is pretty great. Surge to defense, which is great. He's got a spear for 2 red, 1 black, pierce 1 in melee, and a sling for range 1 to 2, 1 black, pierce primitive, whatever the hell primitive means. But I'm so excited about all of it. I mean, yeah, and he is, he's a commander, but he's got a rival commander, and I don't know which one to run,
Yeah, they didn't show Logray's card, did they? We just get the back of Logray's card. Apparently has a suppressive weapon.
Yeah, but
yeah.
also C3PO is
Yeah,
a
yeah.
commander as well.
Well, why not both?
But all three, if I
Yeah.
can. That would be great. Just like I would love them to make the battle force like, yeah, run as many commanders as you want. Like none of this matters because they're white health. Like,
Right. They're super cheap.
yeah, they all have primitive
Yeah,
weapons.
he's only 70 points.
Yeah.
So good.
I mean, the weapon profiles are
It's so
definitely
good.
don't have a lot of dice on them, which
No.
makes sense.
Yeah.
But like the defensive keywords here in Wicket,
Yeah.
I hope this is not like a preview of what every Ewok card is
Yeah.
going to have on it.
They're gonna. That's like cover 4 permanently if you're in heavy cover.
Yes, between independent dodge, low profile, and nimble, and of course he has training slots, so you can give him situational awareness.
Yep.
It's gonna be so good.
Yeah. So not the most of offensive powerhouses, but clearly a giant pain in the ass to kill. Unclear if he'll have his own command cards or if he just uses like the Wookiee, not Wookiee, the Ewok Battle Force command cards.
Yeah.
But-
So good.
Yeah, it's interesting. This certainly feels like a thematic profile.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do C3PO. So we got
All right.
C3PO. Looks like 40 points. Commander. Master storytelling for an action. Choose up to X friendly teardrops at range 1, where X is the current round number. Each chosen unit gains 2 surge tokens. This is so I've been preaching this forever, but fantasy, Warhammer Fantasy, the goblins, this is very thematically falling in the same insanity that was, where it was just like, I don't know, what round is this? Oh, 4. Yeah, cool. 4. These guys get surges, 2 surges, like, oh, I just love that. He has compel, teardrop troopers, and infiltrate.
Infiltrate. That one's really interesting.
Yeah,
I guess because he floats in or something. I don't know.
Yeah. He just appears.
Yeah.
It's so good. Oh my god, I'm so happy. Divine influence. While they are within range 1 of C3PO, the troopers units gain Guardian 2. So while using Guardian, they may cancel crit results as if they were regular results.
Permanent protector.
Oh my god, could you just imagine like fighting your dad and all I have is C3PO left? Oh my god. So good.
Man.
He's got no weapons.
Nope.
He surges on defense. He has white saves, 3 health, 2 courage, and speed 2. I mean, he's kind of fast for C3PO.
Yeah. Well, he's floating in a chair, I guess.
Oh, yeah,
they're carrying him probably.
He's got wizard magic. That's
Yeah.
right.
Or maybe that'd be great if his mini is like a bunch of Ewoks with his chair like on their shoulders.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Oh my god, that's so good.
Yeah.
And then we could see the back of what I can only assume is Chewbacca in an ATST. Just because of the fixed front and the Impact 3.
Yeah.
So here's my question about Chewbacca.
Yeah.
Because it appears that the unit name for this ATST is Chewbacca.
Yeah.
Can he use the Rebel Chewbacca command cards? And more specifically, can he use the 2-pip where if Leia shoots, you get like a free Chewie fire support on top of Leia's shot?
Oh, that would be so good.
With an ATST?
I didn't even think about that.
That's an amazing question.
It's the Chewbacca unit. It doesn't
man.
seem any different than like Boba Fett with his variety of command cards or Luke or Vader.
That could be the case. If that's the case, that's scary.
I mean, it's written based on the back of the card. It says Chewbacca. That's all it says, right?
That's what it says.
That would be amazing. Amazing. Well, and you got to figure probably, I mean, who knows how they're going to build the battle force, but Han, Leia, and OP Luke all would need to be available for that.
I would assume so.
Right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, after Chewbacca activates, Luke can activate if he has a face-up order token. Like,
yeah.
Oh my god, so good.
But
Oh
yeah,
my
the
God.
Leia one is what really stood out to me. Because that's a free attack. That's
Yeah.
not like you have to flip Chewie's token face
Yeah.
down. It's just like Leia shoots and then you just for free add Chewie's dice to it.
Oh, God.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy.
We'll see. I don't own an ATST, but this might change that.
I have 4.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Oh my god. I'll have to mod one with Chewie hanging out the top, obviously.
No, but, I mean, who knows? They might have a model that's like Chewie hanging out the top of an ATST.
Yeah, I want to believe that they will. Let's say that they will, but my heart tells me that maybe they just give you the half Chewie.
Yeah,
They don't actually
maybe.
give you it's like a unit with just the half Chewie, and you have to
just
put them
put
on
it
an
right
ATST.
on top of an ATST.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be fine with that.
Yeah.
So, all right. You want to do the command cards now?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So I'm trying to see if I can see these from the pictures. They are difficult to read. Okay. So basically, you've got for the tribe, I believe, 3 Ewok trooper units. You must nominate an Ewok commander. This round, at the beginning of the activation phase, units issued an order by this card may recover. This round, Ewok troopers with a face-up order token gain Dauntless and Relentless.
Oh my god.
That's insane. I mean,
Dude, so good.
it could be that like Wicked, all their weapons are just kind of bad. So
Yeah.
giving individual Ewok troopers Relentless is like, all right.
Fine.
But Relentless is really good keyword.
Yeah.
So is Dauntless.
I just feel like it's going to be more annoying than like
Yeah.
actually really, really good. Like, I mean, really, I'm assuming like, if you have like dark troopers or something and just a bunch of Ewoks like just running into them and getting squished, kicked across the field. It's just so funny.
Yeah.
All right. The 2-pip hiding in plain sight, 2 Ewok trooper units. Okay. So Bright Tree Village only. That must be the name of the battle.
Presumably the battle
force. Yep. You must nominate a Ewok commander. Units issue an order by this card gain inconspicuous this round.
That could be kind of amazing. Like a unit has a box or something like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they're just gone. Yeah.
So, and we don't know if the teardrop is the Ewoks or the battle force, because like we don't know if like C-3PO and would be part, and Chewbacca would be part of that as well.
There's if you look in the upper left of Wicket and Chewie's cards and C-3PO.
Oh, it's there. Oh yeah,
symbol.
perfect.
Yeah.
So Chewie in an ATST. Oh, trooper. No, he couldn't. But
yeah, and
that would be
inconspicuous
fun.
requires you to have a suppression token. Anyway.
Yeah. Okay. It's just like it says trooper. Never mind. Okay, so my favorite and the one I've wanted since I've started Star Wars, since we started this podcast, it's all I've ever talked about, is the log trap. It's a 1-pip. You don't nominate any units. This round, at the start of the activation phase, one let's call him Bright Tree Villager trooper unit that contains an Ewok trapper miniature may make the attack listed below. So I think that gives something away. So they clearly have units, whether they're heavies or personnel units, that are going to be trappers that can set traps, I'm assuming. And if you have one, you can do a range 1 to 4, 2 red, 3 black, impact 4 Pierce 1.
It's basically a bombard with Pierce.
Yeah.
It's notable too that this occurs at the start of the activation phase.
Yep.
So this is like a command phase bombard, basically.
Yeah.
You don't have to wait until the unit's in question's activation to do this.
Oh man. So you put HQ uplink on the Chewie, if it has an uplink on the Chewie ATST. You play this and then whatever you're trying to kill, you then attack with the ATST and it's gonzo.
Yeah, because it's a 1-pip. Yep.
So that's like a potentially what we know of right now, 7 impact.
Yep.
Could be 4.
They said they're bad against vehicles though.
Or 8, yeah. Well, they are all the rest of the rounds. Just this round, they're really good against vehicles.
Yeah.
They just hard delete one thing in the round.
Yeah.
And then the
And
rest
then
of the
they're- and
time,
then they're
maybe you still have
bad,
an
but
ATST. Yeah.
Right. That's if you have a trapper unit left.
I guess,
by then. Oh
I mean,
man.
you don't have to nuke a vehicle with this. I'd hit just about anything with this 5 dice Pierce 1
Yeah.
bombard attack.
I hope the trapper doesn't have like sharpshooter
Sharpshooter,
or something.
yeah.
Because that would be terrible.
Yep.
Oh man.
All right. Arboreal assault.
Arboreal assault, 1 pip. So two of the Ewok trooper units. You must nominate an Ewok commander or Bright Tree Village commander. The weapons of the Ewok trooper units that have a face-up order token gain suppressive and immobilize 1 this round. Yeah, no, they're real bad against vehicles. This round after a friendly oh wow, so that's going to be interesting. After
It's pinned down plus an
support
immobilize
unit.
effect.
Yeah, after a friendly support unit performs an attack against, or not support, special forces performs an attack against a unit with a face-up order token, shuffle that token back into the order pool. So, yeah, that's a really good card. But it also makes me think that maybe some of these Ewoks are going to be special forces.
Potentially. I mean, yeah.
Or maybe they're banking, yeah.
Or you can bring rebel commandos.
Yep.
I assume. Yeah, that makes sense.
Makes sense.
Love it. I love it. I love it.
These look like really good cards.
Yeah, they do.
Is anyone else bothered by the repeated use of this round? Is that just me?
No, it's there a lot.
There's some of these have say it multiple times.
Yeah.
I you know, it's funny, Kyle. I didn't even notice. I'm just so excited about everything.
I'm excited
else.
too.
Yeah.
I just think it's funny because it's totally redundant with how command cards work. Every command card is this round unless it has the permanent keyword. But anyway,
all right, Kyle.
this is my little pet peeve with language.
Well, way to bring down my. You know, I was so high. I was so high about this, and you just kind of
I know, Jay. I could sense it. I felt like I needed to bring you back a little bit.
The only thing so far, I'm very happy about everything. The only thing I've been asking myself is, do you think they'll have rebels on speeder bikes?
Oh, that's a good point.
Maybe.
Right? Because you got
Luke on a speeder
Chewbacca
bike?
stealing the ATSC, Luke on a speeder bike. We could do it like same thing they're doing with Chewbacca, right? That would be cool.
Joust people with his lightsaber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Mhm.
But so those
All right.
were all the previews of that, and then the final preview we got was the store championships.
Yeah. Let's talk about this real quick. We talked about it briefly last week, but the short version is that there's a new competitive season that will culminate again in 2024 at Adepticon with Worlds.
Yep.
But basically, there's 2 different ways to earn invites. There's store championships, which seems like they will be very similar to the primes of previous seasons.
Yep.
Or whatever those were called.
Prime, RPQs,
Yep.
whatever.
And then there's regionals, which are essentially going to be the convention level tournaments, and regionals will come with some kind of additional benefit, whether it's a buy or something like that.
Yeah, and whatever that means in their terms, right?
Right. Yeah. They've also apparently said that like the store champs will have an invite for every 16 players.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Which it's unclear if that means like every fraction of 16 players, because in theory, if you're doing like a 3-round tournament, you would potentially have 2 undefeated players as soon as you get to 17.
Right.
Or if you have to get like all the way up to 32 to get 2 invites for a store, I don't know. It's not super clear how that works, but the bottom line is it seems like they've put some thought into potentially making it so that you don't have to like tie break undefeated players to hand out an invite. So
yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Well, and I would assume too, it's going to be like how the primes and RPQs work. Not every store could get those. So, I'm sure it's like a volume space thing. Like, hey, you got to be able to have this many players. You got to be doing this much volume with us, et cetera, in order for you to get one of these store championships, because that's just how that works. And I think that I'm not saying that negatively. I think that's a positive thing, right? Because then you're not getting like some store that has one table and they're like, we're going to have a store championship. You know what I mean? And it's like, whoa.
Yep.
I think it's fine.
I remember there being jokes about some RPQs and primes where like 6 or 7 people showed up.
Yeah.
It's like a 2-round tournament, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I wish that would happen, man. No, it's a friggin' gauntlet. We
No,
get
you
people
gotta-
that like
Yeah.
remember like Stevens was like traveling
Yep.
up and
Yep.
and I think Mike Berry came up to a
Yep.
couple like
Yep.
dude, we were getting tons of travel.
We had 32 at that one
Yeah.
store championship. We played 5 rounds.
Yep.
Yeah. It was crazy in one day.
Yeah.
I played Nick Gardner in the finals.
That's right. Yeah.
Yep. But yeah. Also not made clear to me, but I assume I have an invite to next year, but I wasn't told, so I'll have to ask maybe LJ on that or something.
Yeah, you got one last time.
Yeah.
Or-
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like you should have to win another invite to defend your own title again.
Yeah. Yeah.
I say make him.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
But yeah, why don't we transition to, you want to tell us, Luke, about the list you brought, some of your favorite moments from games, basically just your world's experience generally?
Yeah, totally. Let's do it. So I mean, Boba Fett, we had to bring him back after 4 years. He obviously got a bunch of buffs just recently, especially with the new cards. So he's been always my favorite piece in the game and most comfortable with. So I decided to bring him and kind of built the list around him with the shoreline that I brought, and then the triple snipers, and why not IG-88 because we have points and he's a good gun. And yeah, it's kind of interesting because it's like an updated version of my 2019 worlds list. You still got the 6 core, the 3 snipers. Things just got cheaper, so you can fit another bounty hunter in there. But basically going into it, obviously I was prepared to play a bunch of Blizzard Force matches and Dark Troopers. That was the main thing. I didn't want to play either of those because I like to usually just play something just a little different that people aren't quite prepared for, because they'll know what to expect and how to counter it and the plays that they can do. So yeah, that's the list I landed on. I played it for like 2 or 3 months, which I always recommend to newer players asking, what's a good first learning curve when you're going into tournaments. Just play a list a bunch so that you know it. But yeah, so that's how I landed on the list. Felt very comfortable with it going into it. Well, actually, the Sunday prior, I played a practice game against your own Lucas, Technophobia, and he actually beat me on stream. And I was like, man, now I'm not feeling so good because that was my last game going into it. And he was running the Blizzard Force Op Vader version, obviously. But yeah, I mean, I felt like I was pretty well versed. My list, it wasn't amazing at any particular thing, but it could hang with just about anything and play most objectives besides like bombing run. So, and I knew I wouldn't be forced to play that. So yeah, going into it, I actually took a loss the first game against a great player, Babette. I think his name's Julian. Yeah. And yeah, so I went 0-1. Luckily, you could take a loss the first day. So I just kind of, on the lunch break, just dialed it back in, kind of got my headspace cleared, and just took it one game at a time after that. Went 2-1 that first day, and then, that's all you had to do. So kept going, chipping a chair, one game at a time, and played a lot of great players throughout the weekend. Got to play people from Canada, obviously, Germany, the UK in the finals. That was awesome. So yeah, a lot of great players. I played against 3 Blizzard Force matches. I didn't play against any of the double dark lists, which I know people have been saying like, oh, we got through without playing it, which is true. And I actually was saying prior, mathematically, someone's going to get through without playing them. Just happened to be me. My list, if you take a look at it, it doesn't have like natural impact, and you're like, how does he deal with Dark Troopers? But I found in my practice games that I could actually kill 2 double darks, whether it was IRG, 6-man units, whatever it may be, Pal Barrier even included in that. Because I have 7 units that have Surge to Crit in some way, and then Boba Fett, he's got a couple impact cards. He has impact 1 himself. The Simple Man card was
Simple Man is
great.
great. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you increase the range of his wrist rocket to range 3, so you can kite better, and you gain marksman. Usually it's doing 3 or 4 through with Pierce 1. I was doing quick math today, but basically with that rule with respect turn, you're shooting mortars with 4 dice, you're shooting T21s with an extra dice. All that adds up to where you can handle darks, even though it doesn't seem like it. And that's kind of where I was unsure going into it if I needed to swap into 2 HH12s and drop the Del Shore and the mortar. Ultimately, I said I need to be able to handle all the other lists better, and we'll just have to hope that the math works out, the crits come, and if I do play against that double dark list, but
just not play against any of them,
you just dodge them all. You just dodge them all.
The best counter.
Yeah, the best counter is not to play against them.
Yep.
So it worked out in the end. But yeah, I had made a couple changes right before I just dropped like 2 recon intels, and I actually regret doing that, because not that this taking anything away from Bobette, but the game that I lost, that first game, was the only game that I chose to be blue. Every other game, there was like at least half the games where I did have the bid and I still chose to be red. Whether it was because I felt like the objective deck was similar enough or the side mattered more. I think the list in particular is way more reactive, just because you can set up the battle deck or have that last veto to whether make the deployment more favorable for you, which in all 3 of my Blizzard games I played on Danger Close, which is very good for my list. Or you can play an objective where bounty comes into play more. So I think the red player is definitely more keyed towards that list. And 12 activations, you're talking about having 3, 4, sometimes 5 deployments after your opponent goes fully. So it gives you a lot of play there. But yeah, so the red player definitely throughout the weekend, I felt much more comfortable being red. So I probably would have just brought it back to 800, which is what I was practicing up until like 2 days before I decided to drop them, to have a bid against the Dark Trooper list, because I did notice they were coming in at like 3-ish, 2-ish point bids, so I wanted to beat them. So I guess maybe it worked out in my favor. But yeah, another thing was Boba Fett's 2-pip. I might change that out for push, to be honest with you. There were like 3 games over the like 15 to 20 in practice where that card did win me the game, but throughout the Worlds weekend, just having the order control is more important on the bounty hunters. Probably it would have been a lot better to have, but other than that, yeah, the list worked out really well. Rule with respect is amazing, especially for snipers. I don't think many people were running snipers, strike teams.
No, it wasn't super common.
No, and then mortars even. I didn't see a lot of mortars. I think I was one of a handful of people still running mortars.
That's more surprising.
Yeah. A lot of people don't like mortars, which I've always loved them.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like the 3 health that people get hung up on, but I always think of it like they can do a lot of chip damage early, and suppressive, it actually works a lot more than you think it does. Like one of my games, I didn't even like do any damage to Vader, but I was panicking him, so he was just getting suppressed down and he couldn't even do anything, and that was thankful to my mortars. So I don't know, I love them. They get through heavy cover at range 4. They're cheap still,
and people focus on them, like
it's
the same with like E-webs, and you're like, all right, you're like moving, you're like, the big blasters around the corner, and you're like, yeah, shoot that guy.
Yep.
Yeah, It's an interesting, it's a weird thing for whatever they see like an emplacement trooper and they're like, I gotta kill that thing. And you're like, yeah, you do. Go for it.
Yeah.
30 points, whatever, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, that's a great point actually, because it happened in I think all 3 of my Blizzard matches. They used the Bombard card against my borders, and I was like, "Thank you."
Yeah, use it against the shores or against Boba and IG.
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah, you're not suppressing my shores or taking out my main core. I was like, yeah, that's fine, do it. So
yeah, it's one of those things in your head when your opponent does it. You're like, oh, don't do that. But you're like, but no, go ahead and do it. It's like that weird thing where you're like, I don't know what you're doing, man, but it's fine with me, I guess.
Yep.
One of the questions I want to ask you, Luke, was how much weight do you put behind like a TTS game, like a loss like that to Lucas on TTS? Do you put the same kind of like weight and thought into how the results of your TTS games versus your in real life games, or do you just see them as reps?
That's a good question. I learned a lot out of that game actually. So I took it to where I deployed too close to Lucas's Vader, and I'm not like stressing about the loss. More so, I'm using it as a learning experience, just like any rep. I think I'd probably take the in-person losses harder, I guess you could say, than a TTS loss, but I kind of do like TTS a little better these days just because it's so much more precise. I know all the movement measurements in inches, so I can like exactly measure it out where double darks where they're going to be after they move twice and then shoot, like things like that, where when you're playing on tabletop, it's a little more fudgy and things you can't measure precisely. I kind of wish we would do with tape measures, but I understand that they want to use their own measurement tools. But yeah, TTS is great because you're able to get a game anytime on a weekday or whatever it may be. Play against, I played against Lucas in Germany, great player. You find the time, slot it up, you're good to go. So yeah, it's a good tool, definitely. But
yeah, it's interesting, right? And I think maybe you guys and it seemed in Lucas is similar this way where like the numbers are really, really important to the game. And so TTS seems to lend into that a little bit more, but I also find it becomes a little bit slower because of that as well. Because everyone seems to be trying to get the exact measurements, you know what I mean? And like over and like, oh, wait, measurement. Where in real life, because you're not getting that exact measurement, you're kind of estimating anyways. I find it goes a little bit faster because you're like, yeah, that's about right. It seems close. Okay, let's go. It's just an interesting, I almost see them as 2 different games. That's for me because I'm not a math guy, and so like, yeah, I mean, you guys have both played me. It's just like, I don't know, let's see what happens. Like, I just start throwing stuff at you. But yeah, I just always found that interesting that like, yeah, TTS Legion is a completely separate game from in real life Legion, I think.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah. I kind of view all TTS games as reps, including like tournament games like Invader. For me, even like something like Invader is kind of, like high level practice for real life Legion, basically. So it's useful. It's useful for getting like a good feel for, what units do and what your list does and kind of like the fundamentals of movement and positioning and stuff. But you're right. It's not quite the same as gaming on a real table. So
no, I would agree. They're definitely different. And real life, there's more there's sloppiness, right? Things are getting bumped around. That's just the nature of tabletop games. Where the precision on TTS is always there. Like you can lock units and things like that now. And line of sight, I think, I don't know, it might be easier in real life, but also you got to have that perfect angle too. Where in TTS, it's much easier to line up where that angle is. So it's different for sure.
It is nice on TTS for line of sight, especially for close checks, to be able to get like right down on the table. You know, you can put your point of view almost literally anywhere.
Yep.
Because you're hovering like a drone.
Yeah.
And you can also spawn those silhouettes in the most precise location.
Yeah.
Instead
Yeah.
of
The
trying
silhouettes
to
are
like
perfect.
fit it behind.
Yeah,
unit.
especially for the bikes. I mean,
Oh my
yeah, it's
gosh.
like
Don't get me started on the bike silhouettes.
The pancake.
The pancake.
Yeah.
The imaginary pancake.
I finally understand how cover works for bikes. I learned in the final game.
Can you help me, because I don't? After playing Blizzard for like 30 games, I still don't.
Oh God. So I had this crazy idea. I don't know why I thought this. I thought it was like a flashlight effect, and you had to literally check the entire silhouette to the other entire silhouette. I didn't know about the like you pick a point, still the worst point, and then you check 50% from there. So I had this like vision in my head that it's like a three-dimensional volume being projected from one to the other, and you had to somehow like calculate if it was 50% obscured or not from that. So that's what had me confused for the longest time, and finally LJ properly explained it to me in person at Worlds, because over text I was still confused on Discord and such. But yeah, I thought that was pretty funny.
I feel like even that is in practice, because that's kind of how I've been doing it, but in practice that's still like it's actually still quite difficult to do.
Yeah,
because you have to figure out where the worst point is.
Yep.
It has to be somewhere like on an imaginary space that exists like above the base. And
it's usually the lowest point, and you can't get under it because the table's there. So it's like, how are you going to check? It's pretty terrible.
You just do what I do, and you just go, you got cover.
I think that's what most people do now, is you just kind of give up on the process, and you're like, whatever, it's cover, let's move on.
Please. God, I can't do this right now.
I would, as frustrating as it is, I would encourage people, at least in tournament games, to like not do that, because I don't know about you, Luke, but there were several times with a lot of persistence, but where I was actually able to get open shots with trooper units at Worlds. It was not common, but like, you know, if you can do that even once or twice in a game, it's meaningful. So yeah, I would encourage people to not give up on the process, as tempting as that is.
Well, okay, hold on. Let me clarify that, because you're making it sound like I'm just giving everybody cover no matter what. I'm saying like
there are some people that are doing that, just for the record.
Oh, okay. No, I meant like if it looks like it's significantly difficult to find, like that I'm gonna have to like Luke said, get down and like find that one weak point that where I'm gonna be like, nope, no cover. Then I'm like, yeah, all right, it's cover. But like if it's questionable just from looking at it before you even dig into those points, then yeah, you should absolutely look and figure it out. But if it's like it's like glass half empty, half full, right? Like if you're saying you're looking for them not to be in cover and you have to look hard, then it's probably just cover and go for it. But if it's looks like it's not going to be cover and you're looking for it to be cover, that's, you know what I mean? That's where you you look, I think. I know that sounded confusing, but it's...
Yeah, I kind of lost you there, but
it made sense in my head.
I gotcha. No, I get it. I definitely did find some open shots, usually at least a couple times a game, I feel like, but it's not common anymore.
No,
for sure. Where it used to be like a more tactile thing. But yeah, there's still open shots that you can find. Definitely always still look for them. Especially one thing that I was doing in a bunch of my games was just before the game, make sure you cover like does this give bikes cover or not? Because you know, mid game you don't want to be like, nope, that does now give them cover, and it's like this little barrel sitting there, you know, or something like that. So I always made sure to cover that at least.
100%.
Yeah. But
yeah, I will say too, I noticed just like the tables, I feel like had less scatter than maybe I'm used to in the past, and that probably contributed to like the, you know, occasional, you know, 1 out of 10 times being able to actually get that open shot.
Yeah.
Well, I think that was deliberate in general.
Maybe it was.
You know, I know
but
when I was putting together tables and when I was making recommendations to Adepticon, it was just like, yeah, the less confusing you can make these tables, the better. You know what I mean? Like barricades, like nice edge to buildings, you know, area. If you're going to do like rubble or something, make sure it's in a seeable area.
on a base.
Yeah, on a base, stuff like that. And so I think they really took that to heart. And I mean, listen, those guys are all 40K players, so they get
Yep.
the gist.
The final table was great for that. It was the Naboo table, feed, whatever. All square buildings, and then the scatter was just like benches, which were also square. And then you had maybe like some barricade like things. And it was very easy to figure out if things had cover or not. I did find a couple open shots there too. And then, but the semifinal was like the opposite of that. It was a great table, but the scatter was just like everywhere, and it was like everything has cover basically on this table. We're not even going to bother, except for bikes. You know, you can find open shots because we declared prior to that things didn't give cover or not.
Right.
So, but yeah, both great tables. It was just like funny that they were opposite spectrums of that.
Definitely like big uniform shaped blocky terrain pieces work better with cover rules than the more dynamic stuff that we're historically used to. What was your like favorite moment from a game, or maybe craziest moment?
So I played Marcus in I think it was the round 3 game on Saturday, and he was running the Bark, Anakin, and like couple clone gun line, and we played on KP. And anytime there's a force user involved on KP, it always gets complicated with force push and things like that. And it was coming down to it. I started off an early attrition lead because I had more range, and the snipers with high velocity helped out a lot. But he was picking off units as well. And it got down to the end, and it was the final turn, and he had Anakin already sitting on the KP full health. And I'm trying to like calculate who can get there, and it's coming down to it. And sure enough, it was like he had force pushed a shore unit, and he did a very good job. He force pushed a shore unit and cohered, so it stopped my mortar from being able to get on there, which I hadn't calculated for, because he literally just blocked it with the placement of the unit or the models. And so at the end, he had 3 units on there, or he was going to have 3 units. It was Anakin, a solo clone leader, and then the Bark. And I think I was only going to get 2 on the middle. And I just had a sniper left, and he just rolled up and popped the solo clone leader with a crit. And not only did it make it tied 2-2 on the middle, but then it also brought me up in kill points, and I won by like 40 or something. So that was a pretty big swing there. And probably like one of the biggest moments of the tournament, because it won me the game. If I miss there, I lose. So pretty intense dice roll there. And then probably, I don't know, in the final, one small fell. Like it was just like, all right, we did it, we got it. But that was a great game too. Never seen a list like that. That was cool. Yeah, I mean, I was like sitting up all night, just trying to figure out what to do against that list. And I was like, I gotta just shoot and back up. That's the only thing I could do. Luckily, I had enough Pierce, so I could get through the red saves. But yeah, that was pretty intense. I did throughout the weekend. It was interesting. I don't know if anybody like specifically practiced against my list, and me and you were talking about this earlier, Kyle, but because of that, I don't know that people knew exactly how to handle the matchup, because especially like the Blizzard Force, they're starting at 10, I have 12. If we're playing Breakthrough, they have to attack because I got 2 activations on them, right?
Yep.
And because I have 2 activations on them, it forces them to make a tough choice about when to commit to the attack, because they're going to take return fire no matter what. and it was interesting because a lot of the Blizzard Force players that I played were very passive, and they held back. And I think that's what cost them, because in all my practice games that I had played, it was very aggressive. The bikes fly in, you get hit with the air to air use, you get bombarded, and then Vader's right behind. And that's where it becomes a like intense game where it's like, all right, how do I figure out how to win this? But because they were allowing me to just sit there and take plink shots all day, maybe they were worried about the bounty, which I understand. I mean, I got 2 of them that can pick it up. But it seemed like throughout the tournament, people were very afraid of that factor, and just maybe didn't play against a list like mine. So it definitely worked in my favor bringing that list that people probably didn't practice specifically for. So yeah, I did pick up a couple bounties. Another game that was pretty intense was a breakthrough game against Blizzard Force, and it was literally final shot with IG-88. He bountied the Imperial officer and then stepped in the zone to count for 2, and I won 5-4 on breakthrough. Definitely would have lost point on points. So yeah, that was another big moment.
Yep.
So yeah, it was a lot of fun. All the games were intense. Saturday getting there before 8 o'clock and then leaving at 11:30. Like, Legion's a grind. That's a grind. But yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. Yeah. I don't know.
Legion can be a grind. That is very.
I was really feeling it on Saturday.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I was it's kind of like a blessing and a curse to get eliminated in a tournament like that, because it's like, oh, I win sleep.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, for sure, it's like it's a mental grind too, more than anything else. Your brain starts to like make decisions or not make decisions that you would never make, like the first game of a day or the first game of a tournament. So in some ways, so props to you for being last man standing, basically.
Thank you
9 games is a lot. So.
Yeah, Saturday it was like I was just all amped up, adrenaline rushing. I didn't fall asleep until like 3:30 that night, and just woke up at like 6, so basically didn't sleep Saturday night at all. But yeah, just made sure to like get some Gatorade going, ate an apple, and
Gatorade, apple. Yeah,
that's
no fireball this time.
Those are the things. Those are the things that power Luke to the finals. If I was gonna bet on who would sponsor you, it would not be Gatorade or the Apple companies.
We mix in a few White Claws in there.
Okay, there you go.
Ryan gave me some of his moonshine. So
that turpentine that he was carrying around. Good God.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Always is.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
Oh,
sorry. Go ahead.
You gonna rest on your laurels a little bit, or are you gonna like jump right back into the tournament scene?
I'm itching to play now. Like, I just want to play nothing like serious, but I want to play like all this crazy list type stuff. Actually, we got a local event in like 2 weeks just for fun, and I think I'm gonna run like the triple Sith list that's been kicking around with Dooku, Maul, and Ventress. Yeah, that looks like a lot of fun.
It looks crazy.
Yeah. 3 chokes seems good.
3 lightsabers. It seems like if you get in with even 2 of them, it's just kind of game over. Yeah.
So that seems like a lot of fun. But yeah, I'm itching to play again. A lot of lists that I want to try. Just the fun stuff, like Dave Grant's list. Even just mess around with that. Seems like a lot of fun. And then once the new stuff comes out, see what happens.
Cody and Ahsoka and Ewoks. I think all Ewoks are supposed to be end of May to coincide with the Return of the Jedi anniversary.
Yeah, so they haven't. So Cody and Ahsoka are both like have dates and pre-orders are going. They have not launched product for Ewoks yet, so I would suspect any day now, because
Okay.
I know they wanted it for the 30th anniversary of
Yep.
Return, which is not May 4th, it's like the 20th or
20,
something.
25th, I think.
Yeah, something like
Yeah.
that. So I would suspect that those will be up for pre-order pretty soon here for a release around then.
Yeah, and then I heard someone say that like pretty soon after Worlds we're gonna get another points update, so or some fixes, so points balancing.
Yep.
So I'll be interested to see what happens there. The biggest things being Blizzard and Dark Troopers,
For sure. Yeah.
just because they're not balanced. Even though they didn't win Worlds, I think the data has seen that they're just too good.
Yeah. Somebody was posted to the Discord that on day 2 of Worlds, Blizzard and Dark Trooper lists were 73 and 9 against the field.
Yeah, I saw that. That's crazy.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
So that basically excludes mirrors between those two types of lists. I'd be interested to see it parsed out more to include like Blizzard versus Dark Troopers kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, 73 and 9.
Yeah.
And I think you and Lila probably accounted for most of those 9 losses.
Yeah.
So that's like, that's not good. That is not a healthy meta.
No. That's like an 8-to-1 ratio.
That's insane. Yeah.
Yeah, that's gross.
Yeah. So
yeah. Dark Troopers, they need a rata. I don't think points adjustments will help. They're just,
I agree. They're just fundamentally like,
broken.
yeah.
They break the game too hard.
Yeah.
They're the first heavy in the game where you can't just decide to ignore, and you have to bring enough impact to actually take them out, right? Where like an AAT, you could still win the game without even shooting at it, you know?
Yeah. I think it's a little bit of an oversimplification too when you say that you like quote unquote ignore a heavy, because you can't just like pretend it doesn't exist. You have to still respect its attacks and stuff. But
you just mean you don't shoot it.
Yeah, you can still win the game without actually killing the heavy.
Yeah.
Whereas like with Dark Troopers, if you try and win the game without killing the Dark Troopers, they'll just table you.
Yeah. You scoop all your marbles.
Exactly. Yep. So yeah, it's awkward because of how tough they are too. It's not like a lot of heavies you can kill with if you just bring a handful of impact weapons and crit fish with the other stuff.
Yeah.
But Dark Troopers, you need just a crazy skew amount of impact to properly deal with 2 of them. So
yeah. And there's a few things that should not work, like Guardian and Barrier.
Yeah.
Those probably need to be changed.
Right. Yeah.
So that Unconcerned doesn't, use your friendly abilities or something like that.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. It's my worry is that they focus on that and like they don't actually like hit them with any points or anything else, and because the Dark Trooper lists that don't feature a Guardian or Barrier are still a massive problem.
Yeah. The 6-man units are gross.
Yeah.
So hard to kill.
Really.
So,
yep. Yeah. You gotta do 9 wounds before you like even get to a heavy model. So
right, and hopefully they don't do the whatever with shit. The name just fell out of my head. But what they did with where they just priced up the upgrades to go for pikes, but they really what was it, vigilance or whatever? They priced up vigilance, but you're like, that wasn't the problem.
Well, the good news, at least with Dark Troopers, is all of the Dark Trooper upgrades are unique to Dark Troopers. But,
no, I meant like if they like.
Oh, if they make like Protector 10 points or something stupid like that.
Or do something with Guardian, you know what I mean? And you're just like, no, that wasn't the problem.
Right. Yeah, Protector's fine on Chewie.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, there was a lot of collateral damage that last points update.
Yeah.
So hopefully they can avoid that this time.
Yeah. But I would say I understand that those 2 are like the big story because but those are really the only like big problems right now, right? Like, and I think if you adjust those 2, Blizzard Force and
as far as overperforming stuff,
Blizzard Force and Dark Troopers, if you just tune them down a little bit, and I think the game would be okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think Rebels would still be in a rough spot.
Yeah. But maybe with the Ewoks and Ahsoka coming out, that changes, and then they
Potentially.
go in a better spot, right? So like we don't know what that is yet, so we can't
Yeah.
like say, hey, tune up Rebels, and then those things come out and just start squashing things.
Yeah.
Yeah, just tune those things back. Let's see what the next releases are, and then yeah, we'll see. Be interesting.
Yep.
I mean, I think they've got enough data now, at least for Blizzard boys.
I think they had enough data before, but yes.
Well, in case they were worried,
Yep.
they're like, maybe we don't have enough. I think,
Yeah.
I think after what is it now, 4 tournaments of not necessarily winning the whole thing, but of Blizzard having a clear overrepresentation, very strong showing, I think.
Yeah.
What was it, day 2? I think it was like out of the 64, there was 14 double darks and 17 Blizzard or something.
Yep. Yeah, it was a lot.
It's like half your field playing.
Well, and then the top 8 was 6 Empire.
Yeah.
So, yeah, of which I think 4 were Blizzard.
Yeah.
So yeah, as much as I personally enjoy playing Blizzard, I would not like to be playing Blizzard for another year. So
Yeah.
I would like to be forced into other decisions. Let's put it that way.
Kyle, it's okay. You lost now. You can play whatever you want, buddy.
Look, man, if
up to you.
I gotta earn an invite again.
Be like Luke. play whatever you want to play. Luke and Lila showed you the way. You can do whatever.
I maintain that it was
what?
The right decision for me to bring Blizzard. That was a pilot issue, not a list decision issue. Let's put it that way.
Here's something a little early, but AMG, while you're at it, why don't you go ahead and tune down Black Suns, because those are going to get real bad.
Yeah.
So now that everybody knows, it's bad.
I remember saying back when Pikes were all the hotness, it's like Black Sun are just as good.
Yeah.
They're just not as popular.
Yeah, right. I think we had talked about it in like Jeremy Luke.
Yeah.
So he went to the Millennium Games and like won the whole thing because he was playing a Vader double Black Suns list, just like tabling people, and I was like, this is bad.
I mean, they did well at Gen Con last July, and there was another tournament too shortly after that where they did really well. Like they didn't come out of nowhere, but they definitely were sort of beneficiaries of living in the shadow of Pikes. But yeah, they're super good.
They're scary.
Props to Lila for being brave enough to bring 6 of them, especially into a meta that doesn't take a lot of ranged Pierce anymore. So except you, apparently.
That was a good call. Yeah. I'm glad I had 5 units with Pierce.
I
really missed it.
You just bounce off all that.
Yep.
Man,
red save service.
Isn't that wild that ended up being the final? Like it was just like almost like a perfect storm. It was crazy.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It was pretty cool to see. Yeah. And play it. Yeah.
For sure. And we got an international final, UK versus USA. So
yeah, that was cool how it worked out.
Yep. And
Guaranteed.
USA took it home. Thanks for taking it home for US, Luke.
Brought it home, baby.
Yep.
Bringing it back to Buffalo.
USA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was funny that they were doing that chant after the game.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Oh, you started it up. Thanks, buddy. You always got my back.
Yeah, I always, forever. And it's funny. I posted, I put on Facebook, I put a picture of our team, 5th Trooper team, and it was the day everybody was wearing their USA garb, and everybody kept. But like, I was trying to tell somebody who has no idea about this whole world and like, about the podcast and stuff, and then like how we had our like true worlds, and like I said, like people were chanting and like rooting for their team, but it wasn't like in a obnoxious like negative way. It was like a true world's championship, so you could do it, and it felt good to be like you felt part of a bigger team. Overall, it was cool. It was really cool.
Yeah, the community is great. Just meeting everybody from all over the world was awesome. Yeah. and getting to play a bunch of great players. One thing that was funny when I was playing Marcus, all of his cards are in German, so I'm sitting there like, I don't know what any of these are. I could figure out a couple because they looked similar.
Yep.
But like most of them, I was like, I gotta look it up. I don't know what's going on here.
Force Push is my favorite one. Box Toss. But yeah, they're also good. But my favorite German word that I learned was Backpfeifengesicht. Do you guys know that one?
No.
The rough translation is a face in need of a slap, but it is essentially like a punchable face.
Yeah.
So the fact that the Germans have a word for a punchable face, I think, is amazing and hilarious.
Yeah, that is funny. Oh man, were they describing Ellis?
And boom.
Not that I'm aware of.
But,
no, they were. That's the end of the podcast.
Backpfeifengesicht. Yeah.
Love you, Ellis. Yeah, that was funny.
Yep. All right.
Characters. Yep.
Well, any final thoughts?
No, I'm just excited for Legion to keep growing.
Yep.
I think we were just talking rough numbers. I was like how many competitive players do you think they are? And like, so there was 128 people. If you're saying like 10-person average events for invites, you're talking like 1,200. Maybe I could see it up to like 1,500 of the entire pool. So it's pretty cool, just to see that the game's growing, and even through COVID and all that uncertainty.
I think that's just in the United States.
Yeah,
I think it's higher than that.
Yeah, I think there's probably another 15 to 2,000 in Europe alone. Because you got to figure they do their big events and they do like 120.
Oh yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? At a competitive event out there, and they only had from Europe maybe 30 to 40 people just from Europe. So yeah, I think it's a significant number.
Europe has more people that are ranked on the EU ELO board than North America does, which means that there are more people that have played in 20+ person events at least 10 times in Europe than in North America. So
that's cool. I'm excited to see how Bushfax does the whole crossover with the ELO.
It's gonna be I'm curious to see if you end up passing me or not.
Yeah.
I think that you should, but I don't think it's a guarantee.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see.
I mean, just on principle, you should. But
I would love it if you didn't. Like the world champion is not number one. That would make all the sense in the world.
Unfortunately, we didn't get to play, Kyle.
I know
we didn't have the rubber match.
Yeah, it's my fault.
Yeah.
No. I blame you too.
You did your part to make that happen. I did not. But it is what it is. Next time.
Yeah.
That's you know what? The most exciting thing for me is we don't have to wait another 4 years to do this again.
Yes.
So
that was a long time.
That was entirely too long. Yeah.
And yet everything seems the same. What a weird thing we have going with it.
Nope.
But yeah, great event. It was awesome. Yeah,
I'm excited. I'm energized.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
So maybe I'll have to now, if you guys do a store champ up in New York, let me know. I might have to.
Definitely. We're gonna have a couple. We will have a couple.
Yeah, I think we'll definitely have at least 2.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Definitely come up for one.
All right. Yeah. I don't know if I can wait until Nova Open to do a big convention. So I'm gonna have to see what my other options are.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe sometime over the summer or something.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, we are the Notorious Scoundrels. I'm Kyle.
Oh, I'm Jay. Sorry. I was reading something about Ewoks.
Oh,
I'm so sorry.
You and your Ewoks.
I'm so hyped.
Sign up, Jay. Come on.
You guys are hyped to play after Worlds. I'm hyped because they announced all the Ewok stuff. That's why I want to play. Sorry. Go.
Unless they're terrible, I'm going to be all in on Ewoks.
I don't care. Even if they're terrible, I'm all in.
Yeah.
And I'm Luke. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Yeah, Luke, the forever champion. Did we decide what your title should be? Eternal champion, forever champion, maybe just 2-time.
The two-time.
The 2-time.
Bring it back to Dr. Disrespect.
There you go. All right,
my idol. Yeah.
Luke, 2-time cook. All right, stay fresh, cheese bags.
See you guys.
Bye.